and Apple devices. It's a fairly simple application to use. It is, when I say a live application, as you are capturing the information, we can see it in the office immediately. Traditionally, it's an application that has been built for use in the restoration space, and we have been using it in the restoration space for the last 12 to 18 months. We have seen significant improvements in our reporting cycle times over that period that we have been using it. So before Encircle, pre-Encircle world, we were seeing cycle times for reports sitting at around between 13 and 14%. Amy, correct me if I'm wrong with any of these numbers. And then as we pushed towards to probably about 80–90% of our work volume going into Encircle, we saw our cycle times for report submissions drop to a low of about 2.8 days, which is actually an absolutely massive improvement, and something that our clients, once we have sold the value of it in the restoration space, a lot of questions have been asked as to how we can then replicate that through the leak check service that we offer. One of the other key things that Encircle, and we'll talk through today, so that's, I suppose, demonstrating the value that it gives to us, but I'm sure you're going to be asking, well, what value does it bring to you guys out in the field? In today's world, you would go out to site, so your plumber would go out to site, they'd take a number of happy snaps, they would then compile a bit of information through testing that they're doing while on site. You'd capture that information in a number of ways. You've either got your own internal systems, some people prefer to use the old school way of paper and pen. You then capture all of that, and then at the end of the day, you have to go back to the office and you would enter all of that into our system, which is FIS. That administration effort is time in your day that we're looking to eliminate and give back to you, basically. And Encircle, being a live reporting tool, allows all of that time to be removed. So what I mean by that is that when you're on site, you use the tool to capture your photos, you use the tool, and David will give you a live demonstration of it today, to tick off all of the testing that you've done, type in all the information that we need to see typed in. You then leave site, and pretty much 95 to 98% of the time, you're not going to need to circle back and give us any further information. That is your report, done, dusted. You move to the next job. There's nothing more that you need to do. As far as capturing that information. So over the last, and the reasons why we are looking to move the leak check service onto Encircle. We've had a fair bit of noise and feedback, right? And I'm hearing noise not just from our clients, but I'm also hearing a lot of feedback from our plumbing panel as well about their frustrations with the leak check service. And there's been some pretty clear themes that I've broken down into that then that's forced our hand in really going, well, what can we do to improve this service and ensure that it's a profitable service and one that's a value add, both to your business and our client's business. I'll cover off kind of the areas, but to be honest, across all of us, there probably won't be any surprises there. Slow submission report times is probably the big one at the moment that's in all of the conversations that we're having with our clients. Amy, I'm going to put you on the spot. Do you have the current average leak check cycle time number on you today? No, she's.
No, sorry. I'm here.
We're sitting at above 15 days at the moment. Is that right?
Absolutely. We're on about 25.
Okay, there we go. Okay. So 25 days. And when I say report submission time, that allows for the time from you guys as our preferred plumbing panel to go to site. You then would capture all the information that you need to. You then go back into your office or your home office or whatever that looks like. You then submit that information through to us. Now, even just that bit alone, there can be 5 to 7 days in that little space there before we get that report. And we understand FIS is a clunky system. No one likes using it. So there can be a bit of a delay there with us getting that information. We then have to receive that information and then put it into a format to send through to the client. And that whole piece there, as what we've seen, as Amy just said, we're sitting at around 25 days, which from a client point of view, and even from our point of view, we're at a point where we can't accept that number anymore, and we have to look to drive that number down. And hopefully today you will see the value that Encircle can deliver in really influencing that number. The other thing is just the delays in receiving the first reports and additional information from our plumbing network. So as I called out, Encircle being a live application, that will hopefully eliminate all of that. Below expected first report best practice quality. So we'll see as we demonstrate the Encircle report today, it is in a standardised template. So everybody that's on Encircle will be completing the same template. It means that we don't then have to play around with the information to standardise it when we send it through to our client. I've had a lot of complaints come through in the last 6 months around leak check for you guys as our plumbing network not being a profitable service to offer. And trust me, that feedback hasn't gone unnoticed. And I suppose for us at the moment, we're not saying that the leak check service price is not going to shift, but I think that there are other ways that we can look at making it more profitable for you without just increasing that fee. And that's by making it a much more efficient service that takes a lot less of your time on each job and removing all that back-end paperwork to free up your time to sink into other areas of your business. And the final bit of feedback that I'm hearing, and this is coming more from sitting within the leak check team within Wollongong, is just that inefficiency in when we're needing to follow up information. So what we're hoping is that standardised template that will sit within the leak check area of Encircle is going to eliminate all of that need to follow up information. Everything's going to be captured first up the right time. Any questions at this point? I might pause there. Is there any questions from anybody that's on the call today?
Yeah, I just got Deanna, Toscano Plumbing here, Deanna and Hannah. Just with when you mentioned in terms of being profitable, could you just expand on I guess what you mean by it not being a profitable thing for you guys?
For not profitable for us?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I suppose when I'm calling about not being a profitable service, it refers more to feedback that I'm getting from our preferred plumbing panel itself, so our plumbing network. So I've fielded a number of phone calls and emails. So I've been in the role for around about 12 months. Probably over the last 6 to 8 months, I've just heard a fair bit of noise, and we've actually had a number of plumbers who have chosen to leave our leak check service because in their view, the price that we are paying for that report fee isn't worth the time that it's taking to complete the report. So that has been the driver for us looking. So I suppose the first thought would be, look, we could explore lifting the fee, and we'll talk a little bit. There will be a fee change as part of using this, so we are looking to increase the fee that will be associated with using Encircle. But for me, when we look at profitability, it's not just the dollar figure that we pay. Profitability is also an indication of kind of the time that you guys are spending out there. So if we can reduce on average, say if it takes you on average to complete one of our leak check reports, and I'm just plucking a number out of the air, so it takes you 4 hours to complete between travel time to get out to the customer's home, being present on site, then having to go back and play around with Fizz and get that information through to us. If we can reduce that time down to, say, I don't know, half an hour, 45 minutes, an hour per job, that straight away shows to me that we're making improvements in being able to lift how attractive that service looks to you guys. So that frees up your time and your plumber's time to go out to get to more jobs each day, and we can improve the profitability of the service that way.
Okay, all right, yeah, no, that's good. Is there just another, I don't know if you're going to cover this as well, but with using Encircle, is that a system that each trade will need to pay for, like a subscription, I guess, fee?
Really fantastic question. Yeah, really fantastic question. And I'm going to be completely transparent around it. Yeah, so there is a report fee. So we use it in our restoration panel because I want to be really transparent around how we're going to be doing the fee structure. And I haven't landed on an exact answer for it yet. In our restoration panel, there is a report fee that is associated with using Encircle. So that fee can be paid in two ways. It comes out at approximately between 10 Australian dollars, between 13 Australian dollars per report that's completed. We are in the process though of doing some analysis, and this is part of, you guys have been invited to be a part of this today as part of our soft launch, where we're going to explore all the different ways in which we can navigate and use Encircle and Leak Check. So as part of the soft launch, no, there will be no fee that you will have to pay. Oriel is going to absorb all of that fee. My view is that when we roll it out across the panel, that we will set up the report fee structure that will absorb that fee into it. So there will be nothing that you guys will have to pay up front. We will look to set it up in a way that Oriel picks up that cost, but it will be built into the fee that you pay. So if you hear of it being used in the restoration panel, I want to be transparent around, yes, there is a report fee, but we're just looking at different ways that we can explore it, because the leak check service that Encircle have built for us, this is the first time they have ever built anything like this into their platform. It traditionally is used for contents restoration and in the insurance restoration space, and the complexity of the report that is needed is completely different to what we'll be demonstrating today and what you'll see from the report. And through this soft launch that we're going to be doing over the next 8 weeks, there will be conversations with the Encircle guys where we explore kind of what that fee structure looks like. But let me be clear, and hopefully that's answered your question. Today, as of today, the soft launch and all of that, there will be no report fee, and we are exploring that you guys won't have to pick up any of that cost. It will be something back end that we will pick up with Oriel when we do our full launch.
Okay, yep, that's great. Thank you.
Any other questions? Cool. All right. Well, let's move along. So I'm not going to spend a huge amount of time on this because I think I've covered it off already as we've been talking, right? So these are the areas that I see Encircle bringing the most amount of value. And when I say value, I'm talking about value to us as an Oriel business, value to you guys as our preferred plumbing panel, and also value to our client. So value to our client, and that's the reason that we're in this business. So we're in this business to be able to demonstrate a service to our preferred, our client panel, and also to their customers. So it is important that when we call out that number of that 25 days for being a cycle time, we're at a point now where we can't afford to just accept that, and we have to start demonstrating that we're actively bringing that number down as much as we can. So the first thing I'll call out is, as I said, report submission cycle times. That is something we're going to be measuring very closely over the next 8 weeks and seeing what value we can demonstrate. David might even call out an example. Did we have David? Who was it yesterday? You called me. I believe somebody on the phone has already used the power of Encircle.
They haven't jumped in today, but they have been exploring it. They were sent a link, effectively by mistake, but it was quite fortuitous because it was right when we were talking about who we should invite. And they've had the, I suppose, time to play around with it. What they have looked at is, I suppose, Encircle from a restorer point of view, but there is, and what we'll see today, is the leak check component, which is tailor-made to the reporting that you'll be requiring.
Exactly, and I believe, when conversation I had with David yesterday morning, I was actually blown away when he called me that even in the restorer side of the application, even though it is historically built for restoration, the plumber was able to capture enough information that came through to us for us to be able to compile a report to send off immediately.
Definitely,
so straight
including
away,
the invoice.
Including the invoice. There we go. So straight away we've got a report through, instead of 25 days, we've got a report through in under 24 hours, which for me straight away, even before we've had the conversation around our soft launch, I'm looking forward to and really excited to see what we can deliver in the next 8 weeks. So outside of cycle times, reporting quality and consistency is a big one that we'll walk through, and when David shows you the live demonstration in just a moment, you'll see what I'm talking about there. Having a template form that's more of a tick box that your plumbers are going to go through, and the yes, no, what's been completed, entering the readings in there is going to allow us time in back end to not have to play around with that and put it into a standard form. It's also going to eliminate the phone calls into your businesses to, hey, look, we're missing this bit of information, or we don't really understand this. It's going to give you guys that pressure, or remove that pressure coming back into your business. The ability to live report is such a value add piece that Encircle brings. If you guys and your plumbers are out in a contentious job that they don't know what to do with and they want some advice from us, the ability to be able to take a few happy snaps and enter some information, call through to our office and say, hey, look, I'm looking at this job, I'm here on site at the moment. We can both see the one report and the one bit of information at the same time. So we could say to the plumber, well, can you go to this point of the shower and can you take a photo so we can see this? They can do that. They can take video and we see it immediately while they're on site. I spoke before about field efficiency. This is, for me, probably the biggest piece that I would like you guys to leave today really marinating in your mind as to what that's going to mean for your business. Think about the time that it takes you between completing that report, going back to the office, typing all that information up to send through to us. All of that time we are going to hopefully strip down from days to half an hour on site, capture the information, leave the insured's property, nothing further to be done. And that claim management efficiency is what we get back. So that getting the information right the first time, capturing it in a standardised form, ensuring that we understand everything that's gone on with the job from day one will mean that there'll be no need for those additional touch points throughout the report. We can have the report within half hour, an hour of you guys attending site. We can then work on the back of that to get reports through to clients in a much more efficient manner. What I might do then is I'm actually going to hand over to David at this point, and I'm going to allow him to demonstrate live in the system what it looks like. David, are you comfortable to take over?
Definitely. I'm just going to request control of the screen and see how we go. Can anybody see the system?
I had it up before. It's not on at the moment.
Okay, let's try this.
Are you trying to share it from your screen?
Yep. It's thinking about it. Here we go.
Oh yeah, we've got it.
Cool, excellent. So what you're seeing now is the desktop version of the app. And as we look across to the left-hand side, we have the claims inbox and the inspection inbox. So the claims inbox is where we're seeing our restoration work occurring. When we look at the inspection inbox, this is where all of the leak check work is going to be carried out. So we have all inspections and my inspections. All inspections are all the claims that we have running. My inspections are the ones that you're allocated to. And this is quite helpful from your point of view, and also from maybe any subcontractors or people that you have in your office carrying out the work. Because when you receive the allocation from Encircle, you then need to share it with the person who's going on site. So that person can see the jobs that they're allocated to. Now, how you'll receive this information is, at this stage, you'll still be receiving an allocation through FIS, and then a job will be raised through Encircle and shared to you. Once that's occurred, you'll be able to click into the claim and see all the information that's in there. So here's one I've pre-populated with information that's just been dummied up from around the place. So you're looking at, the address, the name, policy numbers, all the information that you'd normally expect to see. Then we have a document section, which is where you'll be generating a report from site and capturing information. And then the other section you'll be seeing is where we'll put the instructions to yourselves, as well as some areas, or what we call rooms, for photos. So we'll normally expect you to arrive on site, take a photo of the exterior. Now, that has a couple of benefits to us. First thing is it confirms the site address and you've attended the correct property, but it also timestamps when you take it, so we can see what time you got out there. And then that is information we need to pass through to the requester quite often. So it's there, that's the first photo that's taken, we know what time you got there. Then we have all the rooms that you're inspecting. So here's one here, we have bathroom 1 and bathroom 2, and there's photos that have been taken in both of them. So I'll just flick across onto the mobile app, which is where you'll predominantly be using this. The desktop app is really for, I suppose, front-end people like the office work to check information and allocate claims. When the people attending site go out there, they'll be using the desktop app. So this is my phone that I'm sharing now, and you can see that this exact same claims you were seeing before. So if I just go clicking this claim here, and you're seeing the photos that you saw before, 3 photos, and you can just flick through them. And photos from the exterior that we saw as well. A lot of information will come through on how best to use Encircle, and we'll give you quite detailed notes of how we would like to see information so that we receive the information consistently across all of the technicians who are using it. Now, part of the ease of using Encircle, I suppose, is quite easily shown by just generating a report. So you'll be going into documents. These are the reports that have been generated on this claim while we've been playing around with it. You generate a report, PDF report, and I'll explain how we have 2 reports in here at the moment. The first report that I'm going to show you now is set up for a standard bathroom. It's a report that you would be quite comfortable with seeing from us, and there'll be no surprises there. The other one is a work in progress where we're looking to enable it to be, I suppose, more user-friendly and flexible in regards to attending to 2 different rooms in the same property and adding additional items to be tested. So you go into a bathroom, you've got the bathroom, and also you're testing the ensuite. The ensuite has a bidet, you can add a bidet, all those sort of random things that sort of don't happen all the time, but you need to have the flexibility to grab that information. So we'll look at this one first, and you just call the name, call the report whatever you would like. And now you're in. So you can leave the information blank that you don't need to fill out. So I'm just sort of scrolling through. Yep, so the case manager here could be the plumber who's attending. We'll have some fields in here, so if we have any questions in relation to it, we can possibly have their mobile entered here as well. It'll be auto-populated with our FIS reference, the insured's name, so you know who you're contacting, the property address. Now, one of the benefits of Encircle is, see this little world here next to the property address? You can click on that and it will use Google Maps to direct you to the property. So that's quite handy. The insurer will be, our client, their reference, and then here's where you really start adding in some dates. So you're attending today, and we're on site now. So that's the first part. Person in attendance, insured. Details from circumstances, so you're adding in, whatever's been occurred when you get there. What has been damaged. All these fields can also be entered in with voice to text. So if that's easier for you as well, you may have better typing than I seem to be having today. Conditions on property on arrival, well maintained. Areas inspected, main bathroom. So, and then you're just going through, tested, passed, tested, passed. It's as simple as that. Not quite as easy doing it remotely through that. So bath breach pressure test. And it's pretty much as simple as that as you're going through doing all the testings. So this is what you'll be using for the soft launch, and we'll be allocating claims across to you for effectively bathroom only testings while we do work on improving that other report. So general observations, mold on wall in hall. So you're putting in as much information as you can, and these are the questions that you've seen previously. So it's been occurring for 6 months. No. Replace washer. $1. And now you can attach photos. So you can select ones that you've taken earlier. So we've tested the main bathroom, those reports, those photos, and done. And that's your report. So that will press save here and it will generate the report. You can see it thinking, it's processing. Sometimes there can be, a little bit of delay at this part, but all in all, it works quite well. Now, what I'll do is I'll flick back to the desktop, and here's the report I just generated. It's a bit easier to see than the mobile app. All the information we just filled in. It's available to me on the desktop in the office in Wollongong. Hot water line pressure test failed. There you go. We can go straight back to the insurer with that information. And all the information you filled before, a report's generated with the photos, and that's it. Effectively just your time on site. Now, one of the things that Natasha mentioned was the ability to include videos, and that is something that I would probably recommend, and particularly if you're looking at failures. So you can just do a quick walkthrough, show the property, show how well maintained it is, show any possible concerns that you may have, maybe even take a photo of that mould or video of that mould in the adjoining hallway so that they can go through to the insurer, because most of these cases are for the insurer to figure out, are they going to be covering the claim, and if so, then that's information they can then pass on to the restoration company or the builder straight away, so that they know what they're going to see when they get out there.
David, sorry, can I interrupt there?
Yeah.
Just a quick question about the reports. Now, I think I noticed before you can edit the document.
Yep.
Now, one of the things that we do here in the office, we've got, 7 guys on the road, and they're doing this, leak detections all the time. And we've got a similar document or system that we use within our office that allows us to see the report they've submitted straight away.
Yep.
But before we submit it on to you guys or to our customer, we do go over the report in the office here, add more information if we feel like there's lacking in any instance, or simple things like spelling and grammar, which can come across a little bit unprofessional.
Yeah.
So we like to go over the report before it gets sent on. Now, does that we don't want to have to double handle things too much,
No.
particularly if you guys are seeing this live. We want to be able to submit, or for you to see the report as it should be. Can we edit that straight away, or how quickly will those reports be seen?
So, well, that was effectively live then. So that was done on my phone.
Yeah.
It's visible in the app. So it's close to live. You can edit it. But what we've seen in the restoration panel is it's been seen as an opportunity for the trades to, I suppose, upskill and become more professional in their approach. We're not expecting the works of Shakespeare. I mean, we go through and we will then present it in a way that we are used to and is similar for all of the technicians, so that, the reports from the technicians or from the plumbers that we have on call now so we present it in a manner that is consistent with what people expect to see for oral reports. So spelling and grammar, we're not going to be upset if mistakes. It's what it is. The main thing is really that we get the information as fast as possible, and that's why we're using Encircle. If you feel the need to go in and edit things, then you can, but I would discourage it.
Right, okay. Do you get a notification if the report has been edited in any way?
No, unfortunately we don't. And the other thing we don't get is we don't get notifications once the report is up there. So what we would probably request is an email gets sent through to the leak check mailbox saying, 4,000 blah, 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 report completed. So that's our trigger for us to go in and look. The alternate is if we know when you're going to be attending, so you've sent us through your booked time, then we can just go in there and check it, shortly thereafter and present the report from there.
Yeah, great. And just one other little question. I noticed the photos were all labelled the same as bathroom photo.
Yes.
We have the ability to create individual unique labels for the photos.
Yep. I suppose what we would like to see, and I'll show you this in the desk view.
Yep.
So these are the rooms that we have available for this job. So we have the bathroom, we have the bathroom 2. So when those photos are attached in the report, it comes through as, photo 1, 2 and 3 from bathroom 1, photo 1 through 5 from bathroom 2. So it doesn't give us the details that you can provide to us separately, but it's quite clear what we're looking at. You can add some extra things in here as well. You can put in some text notes, which is,
Oh, that's good. Yeah, okay.
bathroom 2, noted.
You could also add as well, Dave, could you not add a photo note against the photo?
You can. So there's a whole range of things you can add, and we'll probably cover more of this with the final documentation that comes through. So you can have photo notes, you can have text notes, you can have a video. There's a multitude of ways that we can get information through. So what we will focus on is really presenting a way that we want to see it, so it's consistent to us.
Yeah.
I'll probably call out just at this point, sorry, just to jump in, that today's session really is just an introduction session. It's really just this is where we're going. This is the path that we're going. You guys have been invited because we were really keen to have you as part of the soft launch before we kick into the a go live date for the soft launch, which we're hoping is not that far away. You will be going through, and your plumbers will be going through training sessions with us. where we will run through how we want it to look like.
Okay, great.
The other thing I'll probably pause on there as well, and David kind of touched on it. So throughout the soft launch, we will be focusing on just bathrooms only. The leak check report in Encircle, it still is, as far as the full service of leak check that we offer, it still is in production with them. But we have enough there for us to be able to effectively, as we've just demonstrated just there, report on bathrooms with everything that we need. So we thought, well, why don't we just hit the go live button as far as getting it out there, and really starting to see what value we can demonstrate with it.
So I suppose what we're looking at here really from yourselves during this soft launch is feedback. We're wanting to iron out all the bugs. We're wanting to, when we send out a best report and a documentation on how to do this, we want to make sure that the plumbers on site find it easy to read, they have a very good understanding of it, and it's really just a reference and they're comfortable with what they're doing. As Tash said, there'll be training for it, but a documentation will go out so that they have a reference and it's presented in a way that is going to make sense and is clear. So yeah, any issues that are picked up from site can be triggered, or we can have an answer for that, so that when we go out to the wider panel, it's a smooth transition. So it's, I suppose, a way of you to influence how what we want to see. So I think really that's Encircle. It's fairly self-explanatory. I mean, there's a lot more we can definitely cover, but that would be as part of training. It's very photocentric, and it has the ability to select, the test regime that we have quite easily with test, pass, fail, and then the option to comment.
And I think, going back to the question as well, the next point when I take back over control of the screen from David is I'm going to run through something that we've never had in the leak check space before, officially rolled out. So we are going to be looking to roll out some SLA, service level agreements, sitting in the leak check space, and these SLAs are going to be heavily driven by Encircle and the value and the timing that we know Encircle can deliver. So to the question, and to the point around the question as to what does that time frame look like, and what are our expectations look like around that time frame, I think that this will probably demonstrate that. So can everyone see my screen again now?
Yep.
Yeah, good stuff. Okay, so this is, and I'll probably call out as well that these are not set in stone. These are just kind of what we are looking to try and see demonstrated through the soft launch. We may get to the end of the soft launch and we realise that some of them are completely unrealistic, and some of them, hey, look, are probably not stretch enough. So once we get that analysis under our belt through the soft launch and the pilot, we'll look to tweak these as they need to be tweaked and rolled out across the panel. And you guys also will have results coming through to you each month as to how you're performing against these. And it will also drive the performance framework of our plumbing panel. So our view is that we want to create, and kind of what I'm looking to create in the restoration space is where we have a tiered approach. So to be a tier 1 plumber on our plumbing network panel means you will be getting the bulk of our allocations and the bulk of our work. Tier 2 slightly less, and tier 3 even below that. So our expectations are that 90% of jobs are at least accepted, or reasons as to why you can't accept it within 1 hour of a job allocation. Site attendance, you're out there on site within 48 hours of job acceptance. 85% of first reports coming through to us within 2 hours of getting to site. So when that first photo is taken outside the property, that report, then we need to be able to have access to that report within 2 hours. So that kind of gives you an idea of, if you are looking to structure it in a way where you want people in the office to go through and review that report and edit it before we're in there looking at it. That's the window that you're looking at. And then also your final invoice submission within 2 days of what you would deem to be job completion. So if there's no re-attendance that's required, it's only that one attendance, within 2 days we have your invoice submitted. And we'll be working really closely with our mentoring team to make sure that we're then fulfilling our end of the bargain and getting you paid within the payment terms. Any questions around, now you've seen it live, now you've heard some of the expectations from a cycle time and like a reporting perspective. Any questions?
Thank you.
I know Sebastian, I know that he unfortunately doesn't have access to a microphone at the moment. He did ask a question around what happens through the soft launch around using Fizz and using Encircle. Don't have to use Fizz. So you will receive an allocation in Fizz where you would still, because we still have to, invoices still need to come through Fizz. Invoicing, unfortunately, we don't have the capability built into Encircle yet for it to be a one-stop shop for everything. But entering your attendance date, let me revise. So Fizz will be used for 2 things: entering your attendance date and when you're booking in to go out to the client and contacting the client, and then just your invoice submission will go through Fizz. All reporting through this soft launch will be done using the Encircle application. And as we touched on, like it's compatible with obviously on your desktop, it's compatible with all your Android, your Apple devices, both tablet and phone. And it really is, as David demonstrated, it's as simple as that, it's as quick as that. The second that your plumber leaves site, there's no follow-up for them to submit information through, to enter it, all of it into Fizz. It is going to give you all of that time back and that efficiency back into your business.
One of the things that has been brought to our attention is, I suppose, the ease that which external data can be shared or uploaded to Encircle, including CCTV imaging, depending on sort of the equipment that you have. If you connect with Bluetooth, then there's no reason why you can't attach it straight into Encircle.
Cool. So what's next? So let's have a quick look at the onboarding timeframe now. Look, I'm going to apologise. The dates in here are a little bit incorrect because we didn't go ahead with with the session the other day. So I'll walk through a little bit around where we are looking to go from here. So the next steps are, if you're happy to be a part of this soft launch, we need to get you onboarded into Encircle with an account set up. It's really simple to do, and I will be reaching out with an email around what that's going to look like. From there, early next week, David will be scheduling in training sessions. So we are looking to get as many people into each training session as we can. So I would need you to give me some understanding and some numbers around how many people we need to put through training. So our expectation is that every plumber that you have out on the road needs to at least attend a 1-hour training session, as well as anybody that's going to be interacting with Encircle in the office. Now, I do understand that you are running a business, and we want to offer flexibility with those training sessions. So we will offer some throughout the week, so you can pull people on and off to be able to attend those training sessions without having to halt your business or not have that presence in the field. The next point will be that pilot launch. So if we can get training under our belt next week, I'd probably go as far as to say the following Monday, which will be, let me look at the date for that, which will be Monday the, Monday the 8th of April is when we would be looking to go live with our soft launch. So any jobs and any Elite Check service jobs that you receive from us, as we said, you'll be getting a notification that, well, you'll be getting 2 notifications, one that it's been allocated in Fizz purely just for you to enter the dates, and 2, you'll be getting a notification that it will be in Encircle, and then you go through and you complete all of your bathroom only reports using that template in Encircle. From there, we'll be doing some analysis around the figures, what we're seeing coming through, your feedback as to what's working with the report, what's not working with the report, and from there we will formulate our phase 1 and phase 2 rollout across the whole plumbing Oriel preferred plumbing panel. I suppose I want to be quite clear that this is a direction that we're pretty firm on. This is the direction that we're going to be taking, and the approach that we have taken in it with our restoration panel is that to remain on the Oriel panel and to continue doing business with us, then you have to be compliant with Encircle moving forward. Now, that doesn't mean that it's not a two-way conversation, especially in this soft launch, as to what's working and not working. We want to get it right, but moving forward, Encircle is the path that we're going down, and we will be pushing all of our leak check service through using this platform. The final bit, I suppose, that I'll touch on as well, just with that, and we did speak about it before around the report fee, and a lot of the noise that I have heard of around the report fee. We have agreed that for the soft launch, any report that is completed through Encircle, we are happy to adjust the fee to $200 plus GST for the sake of the launch. Then on the back of the pilot phase that we go through, we will be reviewing that as to whether it needs to be adjusted further, or whether we believe that that's a fair and reasonable amount for the amount of time that you're taking to compile these reports to get through to us. Any questions?
No, good, Natasha.
So can I maybe pause then? I know I've got you on the phone now as far as having a microphone. Could you, so first up, is it, like, what are your thoughts on the system? Is it something that you believe can fit quite easily into your business?
Sorry, was that directed to us, Natasha?
Yeah, only because Sebastian unfortunately doesn't have a microphone at the moment, so I'm eager to understand. Yeah, well, what are your thoughts on looking at the system now?
Yeah, look, I think it could work. We are, I think what we'll do here, we've got a few guys on the road, but we'll get a couple of them going to sort of just during the soft launch and get them to start using this. And yeah, you know, once they've got their head around it, we can set up a, I guess, training for that as well internally for the rest of the guys once it's, you know, before it's come into effect fully. So yeah, I think it's definitely something that we can definitely work with. Yeah, I think it's
cool.
Yeah.
So I just want to, as we go through the soft launch, any bathroom report that's been completed for us needs to be completed in Encircle, because we will be pulling all of those out. So I'd need you to just come back to me. So we need to do a couple of things around just the admin. So, and I'll reach out to you separately on the back of this meeting around the account setup in Encircle. Really simple to fill out. We just need one generic email address that all of your notifications are going to come through to, and then I just need you to give me the numbers and any suitable days for training. So how many plumbers do you have on the road doing leak checks, or a part of our leak check service at the moment?
6, I think.
6? Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, we've got 6 constantly going, yeah. So I think, yeah, look, we know we have toolbox meetings every week as well. So, you know, 1 to 2 weeks. So, you know, yeah, if we get the training initially, definitely for at least a couple of the guys to start getting their heads around and, you know, really running with it. And any issues that they sort of come across, or we come across, or anything like that, can sort of, you know, be dealt with at the time. But I don't really foresee any major issues, to be honest. So
and we're here to support you. So really throughout this soft launch, so for me it's about really being on our preferred panel, about strengthening the relationship between Oriel and the plumbing panel that we have out there. So that whole experience from a client customer point of view is as seamless as possible. So keep that communication open with us, and I'll be booking in almost like fortnightly meetings with you just to discuss kind of what issues you're coming up against. They may be just quick touch base conversations that we have, because I want to make sure that when we get to the point of that phase 1 rollout, that we're 100% confident that we have the right format that's operating in the right way and the right process that supports that format to get the most value out of it, to be, and any issues are being ironed out through the next however many weeks. I suppose the other point I'll touch on, for me, the soft launch, I'm looking at a 2-month period for the soft launch, so gathering data over the next 8 weeks from when we go live. But those dates probably can be a little bit flexible depending on what challenges we're seeing come up through that time. And that was it. Amy, do you have anything you wanted to add as well while we've got you on the call?
No, not really.
Just to reiterate the importance of using this to improve our cycle times is really the biggest thing that, I'd just like to reiterate.
I think that's it. And to Amy's point, I'm sure most of you know Amy. Amy's our customer delivery manager, and she is the one that has to have the conversations with and bear the brunt at the moment of some of the conversations around leak check with our clients, our 2 biggest clients being Allianz and Auto in general. It's just to her point that we are hearing a lot of noise and having a lot of pressure around that cycle time with report submission. So the importance of being on board and trying to get value out of this and demonstrating that shift in that result. We're at a crunch point now with them. It is imperative that we turn that number around. You guys being out there and utilising the system and demonstrating that value is so important right now to the partnership that we have with our plumbing panel, and also the partnership that we have with our clients. Good stuff. Well, I didn't have anything further. David, do you have anything further you felt that we haven't covered off today?
No, I'm pretty comfortable with that. As always, if you have any questions, feel free to call through to the office and have a chat with myself. Paula, who you deal with on a daily basis, is also heavily involved with this process as well, and she'll be coming along on the journey with us. And if you are unable to talk to me, then Paula will be able to help as well.
Good
Thanks,
stuff.
David.
Awesome, guys. So if that's it and there's nothing else to add, I will let you go and get back on with your days. From here, you will receive some email communication just around the account sign up, and we'll also be in touch around scheduling in that training. It'll probably be next week. Like I said, there'll only be hour sessions, and we'll offer a few sessions throughout the week to give you guys flexibility to pull your teams on and off as you need to.
Great. Thanks, Natasha.
Good stuff. Have a good day, guys. Thank you very much for your time today.
Thanks.
Thank you all.
Thank you.
Bye. Bye.